There is an Arlington, Texas police officer who is now not able to hide behind qualified immunity. He's gonna have to face the excessive force claim by the estate of a father who shot the man after the car was stopped because his 2-year-old daughter threw a plastic candy cane out of the window. That's right. Father was driving and the child, 2 years old, threw a plastic candy cane out of the window. Yeah. Absolutely wild for the fact that they killed him over that. Yeah, Tavis Crane is his name. He died at the age of 23 from the gunshot wounds. Crane was driving and his daughter and 2 adult passengers were in the car when officers Elise Bowden saw an object that looked like, of course, she said, a crack pipe being tossed out of the back window and pulled the car over. That kind of gives me a sense of what the race of these people were probably. So some background on the shooting. Well, as Bowden approached the car, the officer, she saw the red top of a large plastic Christmas candy cane fall out of the car and realized that what she saw thrown earlier was the toy's clear bottom half. Bowden still ran Crane through her computer and it came back with misdemeanor warrants against him and possibly a felony probation violation, which she couldn't confirm. Well, Roper and Officer Eddie Johnson arrived and 3 officers asked Crane to get out of the car. When Crane refused, Roper drew his gun, climbed in the backseat of the car and grabbed him by the neck. Bowen told Roper to get out of the car, and according to the other passengers, when Crane moved his hand to turn the car off, Roper shot him. The car lurched and Roper shot him 3 more times in the abdomen. Now, the judge presiding over that case, Judge Patrick E. Higginbotham in particular, has a strong opinion with regard to the officer's misconduct. This is what he said. The district court erred by granting Officer Craig Roper qualified immunity because questions existed regarding the severity of the crime involved and whether Tavis Crane posed a threat and was resisting arrest. The September 30th opinion by Judge Higginbotham said. It was also clearly established at the time that using deadly force on an unarmed, albeit non-compliant driver held in a chokehold in a parked car was a constitutional violation. Absolutely, a civil rights violation. He had the right to life and that was taken from him all over a candy, piece of toy, whatever, being thrown out of a window. But it's so interesting how the police love to say, oh, they swore it was a crack pipe. Really interesting, Ben.
Everything about these police officers' excuses during these incidents just doesn't stand to muster. It's just, you know something's a crack pipe when it's being flown out of a window? There's lots of items in the world. Most things are not crack pipes. Turns out to be a plastic bottom of a candy cane holder. And then that's even before they talk to the person. They're going, you had an officer holding him in a chokehold from the back seat with a gun drawn on him. You've got him subdued. It's okay, it's fine. So many of these police officers think that just because somebody has some sort of a criminal record or an outstanding warrant for misdemeanors or even 5 or even 100, who cares? That means that person can be brought in for that. They can be held to justice for that through the legal system. You are not sheriffs or cowboys in the Wild West. Even then there was a moral code. It just doesn't make sense that people think they can take someone's life over something. I mean, the man's child was in the car. It's just so horrific. It's so sad. It's unconscionable. Thank God this judge took away his qualified immunity. We'll see how the case shakes out. Hopefully, again, justice can be done here in a case that it seems pretty obvious from everything we've heard. Justice was not done thus far. And again, we need to keep holding these police officers to account, something Dr. Richey does so well, something I know you do so well, Adrienne, and we try to do on this show because it's gonna take a long time, sadly, of continually holding these police officers to the fire and to justice until finally maybe they realize we need to use better judgment when trying to carry out our jobs. Simple as that.
Yeah, this qualified immunity doctrine, something that was created by the courts, it really insulates law enforcement from accountability, especially given the breadth from what the courts create is reasonable. What they say is reasonable conduct, and here the behavior clearly wasn't reasonable. And so I commend the Fifth Circuit for saying, no. there were questions about this reasonableness, and this is a problem. We're sending this back. This is not okay, because so much of what these law enforcement officers do is not okay. It doesn't make sense. Claiming that you swore it was a crack pipe when it was probably like some kind of little Pez dispenser or something. No, we can't continue to take law enforcement. We can't continue to take law enforcement's word for it. It's completely and totally unacceptable, the lies that they're coming up with to cover up their behavior. Yeah, Ben?
And even if it was a crack pipe, their point is what? You're allowed to use drugs and not be murdered. Those are not equitable results. That's an excuse. Well, I thought it was a crack pipe, so I killed him. Oh, you're judge, jury, and executioner of somebody who whatever place they're in their life is using crack? Okay, arrest them if you want. That you're allowed to do. What's it got to do with excessive force and murdering someone in cold blood? Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't, and especially because he had misdemeanor warrants. Yeah, real dangerous guy, I'm sure. Get out of here. It's absolutely absurd.